Hey, it's your boy Drew. So, because I released that video on TikTok that kind of got a lot of commentary and back and forth between men and women about dating, the topic was 80% of men are unattracted to women. I wanted to reach out to guys and have a more thorough conversation about their thoughts on dating. And eventually I reach out to women as well and have a more thorough conversation with them as well. So one of the gentlemen I spoke with was one of my best friends. His name is Kristoph. He's from the Bahamas. And we just had a conversation about his thoughts on dating and his experiences as well. And so I wanted to showcase that with you as well. Always remember, if you like what I'm doing, like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And whenever you subscribe, hit that bell so that you get notified whenever I release any of my videos. And without further ado, from this conversation with Kristoph, where we're sitting in this Cuban restaurant, so that's the music you hear in the background, that's salsa music and stuff. And we're just having a conversation about him approaching women and whatnot, so let's get into it. We have discussed the fact that, for some reason, women that you actually are interested in, you don't approach. Why is that?
Out of fear of being rejected, mostly. I'm reluctant to approach a woman that I find attractive or that I have a keen interest or attraction to. Yeah, mostly out of fear of rejection.
So because of this fear of rejection, you tend to just approach women that show you interest. What does that look like?
Yeah, so if there is a woman that shows interest in me, whether in a physical setting, whether through eye contact or just conversation, pick up cues, then I would kind of act on it. Or if it's through like social media dating apps, you can kind of communicate more loosely, so to speak. They try to figure out what the interests or intentions are, and then I'm able to act on that as well, depending on what's being said.
So do you feel like you not actually actively pursuing women you're specifically interested in has hurt you? And that's a question we have not talked about before.
Has actively hurt me?
Has that hurt you in any way?
Yes, it's hurt me 3 times. It's the 3 times that I have pursued women is the 3 times that I've had my heart broken by them. So.
Are you sure that is because of you not pursuing women you're interested in versus women that are interested in you? Or is it just those weren't perhaps the right women?
No, those were, obviously they weren't the right women. And those were women that I pursued because I was interested in. So I feel like when I date women or I'm in a relationship with a woman that the interest or attraction is stimulated from their side, I kind of control the cards. And I can manage my feelings depending on how much I want to give, how much I don't want to give. Whereas if I pursue a woman that I'm attracted to, obviously there's like when you're attracted to somebody, it's like that butterfly feeling, like you have no control of your feelings or whatever it is. I feel like I'm not in control, so maybe that might be a reason why I don't approach women that I'm attracted to or that I have interest in, because out of fear of not being in control of my feelings or myself.
Interesting.
If that makes sense.
I wonder if...
So, and there's a level of vulnerability that comes with that, which I'm not really afraid of, but obviously putting that in the right person's hands is a judgment call, you know what I mean?
But don't you think that also a part of you not approaching women that you're specifically interested in, but I also think that, or do you think that that's the only reason behind why you don't approach the women that you're interested in specifically? And by interest, we mean attracted to.
I wouldn't chalk it up to a singular thing or a singular item or component. There's a multitude of reasons why. Where I live in Hawaii, for example, like geographically, it's challenging because the dating society and society in general there is so cliquey. You know what I mean? It's kind of hard to pull someone out of the pocket in which you're not involved in any of those. You know what I mean?
So apparently, hopefully, you're going to try to turn a new leaf and make an effort and challenge yourself to approach women that you're actually attracted to, because why not? Maybe you'll have a different outcome.
Yes.
Do you think that the women that you do like are approachable?
Yes. I think everyone's approachable.
What tactics do you think you're going to use this time to get over or conquer the fear, quote unquote, that you might have had in the past to approach women that you actually are interested in?
I don't have a solid answer for that. Maybe coming up with some like icebreakers. You know what I mean?
Give me an example.
I don't have an example. Or just complimenting a woman. But see, I'm kind of like iffy about that because I'm attracted to beautiful women.
Yeah.
And beautiful women tend to get hit on all the time.
Sure.
And they usually hear how beautiful they are all the time. So in my eyes, I'm just like another guy coming and complimenting them on how beautiful they are. So maybe just identifying one particular thing, whether it's shoes or earrings or hairstyle or something like that. Or, you know what I'm saying?
So I feel, as a gay guy, for me, going up to a beautiful woman is very easy because instantly they probably know that, oh, this isn't some dude trying to hit on me, so walls come down, guard comes down, and they're instantaneously receptive to me. And often it's because of the way that I compliment them, because that's usually one of the tactics that I do when I was in hospitality, or if I wanted to speak to someone in general. I will, oh, that coat is so cute, where'd you get it from? Something like that. Oh, I got it from Zara, or da-da-da-da-da. And so like immediately that connection ensues. So I do agree that perhaps the compliment is a great way, a gateway in.
Yes.
But they get complimented all the time. So you're just gonna say fuck it, use the same tactic?
No, like I said, a compliment that's unique to that situation. You know, not maybe their eye, but something like they're wearing. So they don't wear that outfit every day, or they don't wear those shoes every day, or they don't wear those earrings every day. So the fact that you notice it that they're wearing it that day, you know what I'm saying, shows that you're paying attention and you know you like it. And you're complimenting them on it. You know what I mean? I'm still working through all of that. Like sometimes that's where I get stuck. Like I'll see a beautiful woman that I like would want to approach and talk to, and I'm like, what am I gonna say to her?
So this is interesting. You said that sometimes you get stuck.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
And I watch her walk by, and I'm like, oh, there she goes.
But women that express interest in you don't get stuck. So why can't you use a similar tactic to a woman that has expressed interest in you and just kind of conversate with her that way as well? Just act as if you do know.
Because for a woman, like it's different in my mind that if they're approaching an attractive guy, like a guy will always talk to a girl, for the most part. You know, women, if they're, like I said, a beautiful woman that gets hit on all the time, like they just might not, if they're not in the right mood or right frame of mind, like they probably don't want to hear it. You know? But guys will always be receptive to a woman coming and talking to them, or like whether I found a lady attractive or not, if it was an ugly girl or a girl that's not my type, like I would not diss her because I was not interested in her. I would still have a conversation, or even if I just wanted to keep it short and not be rude, you know what I mean? Like, but women aren't like that. Women, if they're not interested in you because they think you're hitting on them, or they're not interested in you, or they're just in a bad mood, like they will, you know, make you feel like shit, or they will, you know, just be rude, or I've experienced that. You know what I mean?
I think that there's probably a bunch of different ways that a woman will react to a guy hitting on them.
Yeah.
So I can see how it's kind of like walking into unknown waters. You never know what you're gonna get. But I do think that, I don't know, maybe I'm old school. It just kind of feels like to me dudes should be hunting. Although we are in a weird time period where guys feel a lot more apprehension with approaching women because they can get a case brought onto them for looking at a woman funny, right? So that's yeah. I mean, you know what I mean.
That is true. That's not something I really think about.
Okay, that's good.
Another thing for me too is that usually I don't see a woman that I'm attracted to by herself. Like she's always with multiple girls or multiple friends.
So you feel like because she's with multiple people, that makes it harder for you to talk to them?
I think that the scenario becomes a lot more complicated because depending on what her state of mind is, her level of maturity, you know, if her friends don't like me but she might like me, she might kind of side with her friends and go against her feelings and be like, I don't want to talk to you, get away from me, even though she may want to, but her friends are like, you know, why is this black guy talking to you? Like, you know what I'm saying, that kind of thing. So when I see girls traveling in packs, I'm very reluctant to approach because you have to win the crowd, you know.
You know what's very interesting about this, actually, as I'm listening to you talk, something kind of I realized. We talked about this briefly yesterday, and it's kind of how guys are relatively simple, but I do find that this topic, guys think this to death. And I think I'm feeling like a lot of guys are doing this here. You're thinking this to death. Approach, she doesn't like you, move on. Like, I really think that that's probably what you should do, and develop a mechanism to where you won't care if they react negative. Whatever their reaction is, maybe you shouldn't just give a fuck. I think that this is being thought through too much. Where, well, she might, or she might, or she might. Yeah, okay. Well, I think we're thinking this too much. We're thinking this is too much.
Well, I'm a thinker. That's you asked the question.
Right.
Why I don't.
But
do
I'm talking
things.
to you is helping me realize maybe that's what you should do. Just not give a fuck at like literally at all.
I chalk it up to me justifying my rejection. Why is she gonna reject me? Or ways to avoid making a move. So I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Because she's with her friends, or because looks miserable, or she doesn't look like she's having a bad day, or you know what I'm saying? Like,
so it's interesting you say looks like she's having a bad day. She looks miserable. Something I started doing a few years ago is if I'm like. I used to be the person that will pop off. If someone has an attitude, immediately I'd be like, bitch, why are you acting like this towards me? Da, 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 da. You know, like I'm, you know, paying customer, I'm such and such. You know, if you have an attitude, take it elsewhere. But now I'll do something like, are you okay?
Yeah.
What's going on with you today? Like, that's been my tactic lately. And I would say 90% of the time it disarms them.
Yeah.
Immediately, like, you know what? I'm fine. You can tell that immediately that tension releases out of their shoulders, and they're like, thank you for acknowledging and being human. And not being a jerk, because I think a lot of people probably are just like, this bitch, why is she talking like that? This person, da 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 da. When you go, are you alright today? Like, what's up? I think that reaction disarms them. So again, this is fast. This is a fascinating phenomenon to me because it just hit me. I think that guys think about this too much. I don't think they should make it that deep. But I'm not accounting for many factors that go into why guys will psychoanalyze approaching women.
Yeah.
But I do think that for you, maybe you should just not make it deep.
So I think another part of it too is like everything in life is like building reps, right? Muscle memory, building muscle memory, getting practice, right? So like you go and ask one girl out and you get a phone number and you build a little confidence. Like, oh, I could go and ask another girl out and get another phone number. Like, you're like, yeah, I gotta win. You know what I mean?
Yes.
In my particular situation where, you know, I'm a single dad raising a kid, I don't go out very much. You know what I mean? So the chance to build reps and muscle memory and building that confidence is those attempts are very far and few. So it's like every time I go out, like I'm starting from scratch or I'm starting over. Like, all right, you got to take that first step. And it's like anything that you do that you care about, like you're going to think about it a lot. You know, like, okay, how do I, like, if you're learning to swim, like, how do I need to move my arms? What do I need to do? How do I need to breathe? Am I kicking? Am I sitting? You know what I'm saying? As opposed to somebody that does it over and over, and then they're just like, just get in the water and swim. You know, it's different. So I don't have the reps under my belt to just go out and walk up to any lady and just be like.
But that's advice you would give to someone that wants to start swimming, expressing a lot of trepidation, a lot of fear about starting to swim or doing a different stroke or doing something or exercise or whatever it is? You just say, just go do it? Is that what you would tell them?
No, not necessarily. I mean, swimming is a little bit more complicated.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Swimming is just an example of like something in life where people act that way.
Just go do it. Yeah.
So that's having this conversation and hearing all of this with you has helped me realize I think you guys should just do it and stop thinking about it.
I agree. Like I would go. Like I said, you just get that first phone number, dude, and you're like on top of the world. Like you could get rejected 3 more times, and you're like, whatever, I'll keep going. I got one. You know.
Interesting.
But you, like making that first $1 million, like you just got to make the first one, and then the rest will come. You know.